Okay, rings around planets. Now, rings can be different kinds. Some are little asteroids, and some are little ice crystals, and some is frozen gas, and so they all look different. And I encourage you to always look around. If you simply do a Google search, ooh, that one's pretty. You know what? That's the one we made last year, I think. Looked about like that. We're going to make something different. We're going to make one with a little bit of asteroids look to it. Um, so look around the internet and see different things. Um, Satellites. Look at this. Anyway, it amazes me what space really looks like. Before you continue, hopefully you have grouped all of your little Mars in Mars and named it Mars. I'm going to take the eyeball off because we're going to start on a new layer. And I'm going to name this rings, even though nothing is really going to go inside it. Rings, and we're going to go back to the shape tool, shortcut key U. And I want you to draw a shape from the middle, something like that right there. And let's give it a color. Actually, let's just give it a gray. Something grayish. There we go. Now what we need to do is eliminate this inside right here. What we can do it, let's do it the easy way. How's that? Let's just do another shape inside, but changing our setting from new selection to add to shape, subtract from shape, intersect, or exclude. Let's choose subtract from. And I like using my rulers, Command R, to kind of line things up so I know where I started with the shape initially. That looks about right. So back to U, subtract from shape. I'm going to go dead center of these little crosshairs, hold down Shift, and then press Alt, and hopefully drag from the middle. And it's not perfect, and it probably won't be on yours, so don't worry about it. Right about there. And take that inside out. Now our shape, if you look, is a ring. Let's go ahead and rasterize it. Meaning let's turn it into a usable pixel object. And you do that by right-clicking the layer and choosing Rasterize. It's also under Layer Rasterize right down here. Okay. Notice now it's pixels. Now we can work with it. Let's run a filter on it. Filter, blur, shape blur, motion blur, lens blur. We're doing a radial blur, something from the inside out. And don't choose zoom because you can see a window preview of it here, and you can also move it around. So when you blur things, you can put the center point at a certain spot. Choose zoom, and don't jack it all the way up because it will look really weird. Okay, so let's bring it, I don't know, about 50-ish. And I always choose best on quality. It uses a little more RAM, but it's pretty nice quality. Okay, there we are, blur. Now notice some of the parts are more blurry than others. See that? See these edges are sharper than these edges? That's how radial blur works. So what we're going to do is we're going to transform it. Command T, we're going to hold down Shift, turn about 90 degrees, hit return, and run the filter again. There we go. I like that a lot better. Now let's change the blending mode to, no, let's do it with the filter. Filter, noise, and we're going to add some noise to it. And I always choose Gaussian. You can look at the difference between uniform and Gaussian. And you can also click in here to get a preview in this little window here and adjust it up so it's nice and dirty. You want dirty. And I always use monochrome. If you don't use monochrome, you'll see bits of color in there. I don't know if you see that. And if you used a color ring, that's fine. You might like that. Click OK. There we go. That's wonderful. Now I'm going to Command T that sucker. Squash him down. Rotate him a little bit. Put him in the middle. Make him nice and big. Point him out just a little bit. Might need a little bit more blur here in just a minute to make it a little more realistic. You see how these are sharp edges down here? So let me go up here and look at what it's going to do. Filter, blur. And do you remember that one we used to make the lens flare on the planet? Do you remember what it was? It was a motion blur and had that little wheel that you can click on and set the motion. And now let's bring it up to make it real pointy. But you'll notice it took my noise away. So I'm going to click OK, and now I'm going to go back and run the noise filter again. There we go. I like that much better anyway. A little bit less this time. Click OK. And there it is. If I bring on my Mars, there it is. It's looking beautiful. Let's bring Mars in the spot. And run in there. And the only way, I could probably use the same color as right here. Maybe I'll give it the same color by double clicking it. And on color overlay, which gives it an overlay color, I'm going to choose the color is right in here, this orange color. See how I moved and clicked on the object and it changes automatically? Let's get that yellow. That's a little bit bright. A little bit. Just come on, come on, come on, come on. Show me the money. Well, I like that. I'm going to click OK. There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to click OK. Now, do you see what's keeping it from looking real? Obviously, it doesn't look like it's around it. So I'm going to decide what side of the ring is the front, what side's the back. And because I'm going to move my planet by clicking my planet using my arrow key down, I'm going to make this front one the front, and I'm going to hide this back one. Let's get rid of those guides, Command, colon, and the rulers. There we go. Command R. And let's just make a mask on the rings layer. But we're going to use the circle of the planet to mask it. See how I command click the circle on the planet? Well, I could have clicked the shape. Either one, they're the same size. See if I click this one. See, it's the same size. Command click. It makes a selection. And I go back to my rings layer and just simply click mask. Now invert my mask. Perfect. Now all I need to do is brush back the front ring line, which is right here. I'm going to hit B for my brush. And to reveal, we brush in white. I want a hard line too. Reveal, we brush in white. So I'm going to press X on my key. Oops. Gotta make sure that's right. Hardness. Press X on my keyboard. Opacity at 100. And just run my brush right along that line and it should appear. Beautiful. Oh, look how beautiful. Beautiful. So I love my Mars with my rings, even though Mars don't have rings. And I'm going to link those two together by putting this in the group. I'm going to drag it. No, because I did brush on that back side. Don't want to do that. Well, let's go ahead and take both of these groups and make another group. This one's not a group. This is just a layer. This is a group. And make another group. And inside, it's the same setup. See, a group called Mars. Inside the group called main Mars. I can't. Oops, can't spell main Mars. Mars. Come on, man. There we go. And that's what it looks like. Beautiful. So now when I move the group using my move tool and auto select on group, it moves my Mars. Now I can transform my Mars all together. It's my Mars. Put my Mars down here. There you go. That's how you make rings. That's one way to make rings. There's many more. If you zoom in here, I mean, it could look better. I could go in here and open up the effects and change gradient overlay to dissolve. Let's see if it changes at all. It didn't change at all, did it? Dissolve. Maybe a pattern overlay. I mean, I can sit here and mess around all I want to make it look the way I want to, but nothing changed. Isn't that wonderful? But anyway, I like it like that. All right, see ya.